You guys, look up. Dry. Austin. Dry. Dry.
Okay, so Disneyland glitches. Ever. Like, wondered what could possibly go wrong at the happiest place on Earth. Yeah, well, we're going to find out. So recently, September 25th, there was this whole thing, an oil leak at Disneyland, and it kind of threw things off a bit.
Wow, an oil leak, huh?
Yeah, not exactly the magic you'd expect, right? So we've got a few articles here, and let's see if we can figure out how a little oil slick managed to, throw a wrench into the magic.
Right, because you think of Disneyland and, well, oil leaks aren't exactly the first thing that spring to mind.
Definitely not. Okay, so these articles all agree on the basics. Basically, this oil leak, it was from a street sweeper vehicle, and it ended up delaying the park opening by, 10 minutes or so.
A street sweeper?
Yeah, a street sweeper.
Yeah.
Of all things to cause a problem at Disneyland.
You'd think it would be I don't know, Space Mountain malfunctioning or something.
Right, or like a rogue animatronic on Pirates.
Exactly. But a street sweeper, that's kind of wild.
It really is. Okay, so get this. Main Street U.S.A.
Yeah.
That's where it happened.
Oh.
The heart of Disneyland. Shut down by, an oil leak.
Talk about a clash of aesthetics. You've got this idealized version of America, this nostalgic throwback, and then bam, oil slick.
It's kind of ironic when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Main Street is all about evoking this picture-perfect past.
Exactly. It's like stepping back in time, and then boom, you're reminded that even the most carefully crafted illusions can be disrupted by, well, the realities of, machinery and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And according to one of these articles, some visitors even got a little behind-the-scenes peek because of this whole thing. They had to reroute people through backstage areas to get around the oil.
Oh, wow. Backstage at Disneyland. Now that's something you don't see every day.
I know, right? Talk about an unexpected perk.
It makes you wonder what they saw back there.
Right. Was it all organized chaos and, people running around in Mickey Mouse costumes? Or was it more buckets of paint and spare animatronic parts?
Yeah, I mean, I've always wondered what goes on behind those perfectly themed walls.
Me too. Okay, so unsurprisingly, this whole oil slick incident, it blew up on social media.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, people were posting pictures, videos, you name it.
Yeah.
There was this one tweet from, let me see, Beautiful Tomorrow TV. They called it Total Chaos. And then there was this amazing photo by Gothic Rosie of custodians cleaning up the oil. And, it really highlights how much theme parks rely on social media these days. It's not just about marketing anymore.
No, not at all. It's their lifeline to the outside world, It's how they communicate with visitors in real time.
Exactly. It's how they manage expectations, deal with rumors, the whole 9 yards.
And it's interesting because on one hand, it gives visitors this incredible power, right?
Totally.
You can broadcast your experience to the world with a single tweet.
Oh, yeah. Hey, world, Main Street smells like a gas station.
Right. But it also puts a lot of pressure on theme parks to, maintain that perfect image because any little hiccup, any deviation from the plan, it can go viral in seconds.
Yeah, totally. Okay, but to be fair to Disney, all the articles we've got here, they agree that the cleanup was super fast.
Really?
Yeah, and there wasn't any lasting damage or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
It makes sense, though, when you think about it. Disney has this reputation for, well, efficiency, right?
That's true.
They're kind of known for their attention to detail, for making sure everything runs smoothly. So I'm not surprised that they were able to handle this whole thing quickly and quietly.
Makes you wonder if they have a special oil spill on Main Street plan tucked away somewhere, a whole protocol.
Right. Maybe they have a whole team of magic cleanup fairies or something who just poof, make it disappear.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's they've got this whole image to maintain, right? This idea of a perfect, pristine, magical place.
Oh, totally. They want you to completely forget you're in, a theme park. They want you to feel like you've stepped into another world entirely.
Right, exactly. But then something like this happens, like a street sweeper leaking oil, and it's boom, reality sets in.
And you're reminded that even at Disneyland, stuff happens. It's not all pixie dust and happy endings.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes this whole thing so interesting, Because on the one hand, you have this incredibly well-crafted illusion.
Like the lands, the characters, the music. It's also meticulously designed to create this like seamless, immersive experience. They don't want you to see the seams, you know?
Exactly. But then on the other hand, you have this element of unpredictability that they can't completely control. Like, no matter how much they try to plan for every possibility.
Things happen. Rides break down. Animatronics malfunction. Street sweepers leak oil.
Right. And in the age of social media, those moments, they don't stay hidden for long.
Nope. They get amplified, dissected, shared with the world in a matter of seconds. It's like you can't hide anything these days.
Exactly. And that's got to be a challenge for theme parks, right? Because they're trying to maintain this image of perfection, but at the same time, they're operating in this world where, you know, nothing is really perfect.
Totally. So it makes you wonder, like, how do they adapt to that? Do they try to, like, exert even more control? Or is there a way to, like, embrace that element of unpredictability? To, like, make it part of the show?
That's an interesting question because, I mean, think about it. Sometimes those unexpected moments, those little glitches, they end up being the most memorable parts of an experience.
Oh, totally. Like, I remember this one time I was a kid, and I was on the Haunted Mansion,
Yeah.
and the lights went out.
Yeah.
Like, completely pitch black.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was only for a few seconds, but it's terrifying and, like, way more effective than any of the planned scares.
Right. Because it was real, you know?
Yeah.
It was this moment where the illusion was broken, but in a way that actually made the experience more intense.
Exactly. So maybe there's a way for theme parks to, like, harness that, to, like, incorporate those little glitches into the narrative somehow.
Now that you mention it, I've always thought it would be cool if, like, instead of just closing a ride down for technical difficulties.
Which, let's be honest, is always a letdown.
Totally. But, like, what if they incorporated those moments into the story somehow?
Oh, I like that. Like, what if, I don't know, like, the audio malfunctions during a show, but then the characters on stage, like, acknowledge it and make it part of the performance?
Exactly. It could be this really cool meta moment, you know, like winking at the audience and saying, hey, we know this isn't real, but we're all in on the joke.
Right. And it would make those little glitches feel less like failures and more like opportunities.
Exactly. It's like instead of trying to create this perfectly seamless, flawless experience.
Which is impossible, by the way.
Exactly. It's like, why not embrace the seams? Why not acknowledge that things don't always go according to plan?
So, like, instead of getting annoyed by those little theme park hiccups, maybe we should actually be, like, grateful for them.
Yeah, maybe. Because, I mean, let's be real, a perfectly polished, predictable day at the park
Would be kind of boring, right?
Totally. It's like, it's the unexpected twists and turns, those moments where the curtain slips a little, that often make the best stories.
So, like, what's the takeaway here? Even Disney, the happiest place on earth,
isn't immune to a little chaos, right? And that's, like, what makes it interesting, you know? It reminds us that theme parks, they're not just these places to escape reality. They're also mirrors, reflecting it back to us.
Oh, I like that.
They offer this glimpse into how we navigate this messy, unpredictable world.
It's like those family vacations, right? Where you have all these perfectly planned activities, but then the most memorable moments, they're usually the unexpected ones, like the spontaneous detour, the funny mishap, the time you accidentally, like, wandered into the wrong theme park restaurant and ended up having the best meal ever. Those are the things that stick with you.
Totally. Or like, you know, think about, like, those perfectly framed Instagram photos versus those blurry, out of focus ones that you capture on your phone, just like in the moment.
Oh, yeah.
The ones that are less staged, more genuine.
Exactly. It makes you think that maybe those little glitches, those hiccups, they're not just annoyances to be avoided.
Yeah.
Maybe they're actually a key part of what makes the whole experience feel more, I don't know, more real and ultimately more engaging.
Yeah, it's like that old magic trick, right? Where the magician makes something disappear, but in the process, they leave a little bit of themselves behind, a little bit of the real world.
And that's what leaves an impression.
Right.
It's those little imperfections that remind us that magic, yeah, it's real, but it's also just a little bit messy. And maybe that's what makes it so captivating.
So next time you're at a theme park and you encounter a little glitch, a brief malfunction, don't just see it as an inconvenience.
Okay.
See it as a chance to peek behind the curtain, you know, to experience the magic a little more authentically.
And maybe even appreciate those imperfections. Because sometimes those are the things that make the magic really shine.
Precisely. It's a reminder that even the happiest place on Earth,
Yeah.
it isn't immune to the realities of the world around us, and that's okay. In fact, it might even make the experience more memorable.
You know, I kind of feel like we just cracked the code of Disneyland or something. Or at least the code for navigating its little glitches.
Right.
But hey, there's always more to uncover.
Right, absolutely. The world of theme parks, it's endlessly fascinating. And just when you think you've seen it all,
Yeah.
something new pops up, throws a whole new perspective into the mix. It's like that's the beauty of exploring the world, isn't it?
Okay.
Even something as seemingly simple as an oil leak
Right.
can lead you down a path of discovery.
It's what keeps us coming back for more. Right. Whether it's a theme park or a new book or even just like a conversation with a friend.
Exactly. The world is full of surprises, and it's up to us to embrace them.
Well said. Well, this has been fun. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Disneyland oil leak of 2024.
It was a fascinating exploration. Thanks for having me.
And until next time, keep those eyes peeled for the unexpected. You never know what you might find.